So since COVID-19 hit, almost all aspects of daily life have undergone a transformation, and travel is certainly no exception. Join us now to share her perspective on how the pandemic will affect the future of travel is travel journalist Sarah Greaves-Gabidon. Morning. Welcome to Smile Jamaica. It's morning time.
Good morning, Neville. Thank you so much for having me. Greetings from Miami's Make-Believe Beach.
It's our pleasure. Before we talk about you writing, what has it been like for you and your family, this terrible pandemic?
You know, for everyone, it's been incredibly challenging. Happily, everyone is healthy and hopeful, staying positive, though testing negative, which is very important. But, obviously, as a travel writer who hasn't traveled since March, these have been challenging times. So I'm just thankful that everyone's healthy.
Okay, give me a little bit background about your Jamaican connection and why you left us and how long you left
yeah,
us.
so my father's from Jamaica, my mother's from Barbados. I lived in Jamaica about half my life. I'm an immaculate girl, go immaculate. But I did hotel management, and I just decided that, what, I'm in love with travel. This is something that makes my heart sing. So I've been here in Miami since 2003 and have made a career as a travel journalist and video and content creator, spreading the gospel of the Caribbean with the world, which is why I call myself a Caravangelist.
Caravangelist, JetSetSarah.
Yeah.
Who is that?
Yes.
Who is a Caravangelist? You are.
I am the Caravangelist.
The only one.
So the only one, the first and only and original, the OG. So the thing is, here's the thing, we Jamaicans know that, of course, that we are not like any other Caribbean island. But, people all over the world tend to think that every Caribbean island is the same. And I want to prove to them that this is a region of immense diversity and richness. Our backgrounds are different, our language, our food, our culture, our music. So I really want to encourage people when they come to the Caribbean, yes, lie on the beach, but go beyond the beach and experience all the diverse cultures that we have to offer.
Yep. I guess you would have traveled around the world, I suspect.
I have, but the Caribbean, I have to say, that's my wheelhouse, that's my home, that's my passion, it's my beat. It's what I share on all my JetSetSarah channels across
Yep.
social media.
Have you ever been anywhere that didn't turn out the way you thought it would?
Yes, but in a good way. In February this year, I got invited to go to Peru, to go to Machu Picchu, the Inca citadel there. And I really was like, I'll do it for work because I have to, but I really wasn't that into it. I had known friends who've been, and they had told me it was a 4-day hike, 26 miles, up to 13,000 feet in altitude. And I'm all about air conditioning and comfort. So I wasn't so into it. But you know what? I went with actually a cruise line who had this amazing setup where you went on this amazing train called the Belmont Hiram Bingham train to the foot of Machu Picchu, and then you got there, and I was blown away by the magic of that place, the mystery of the place that had been built by hand in the 15th century by the Incas, and then mysteriously disappeared. They abandoned it in the 16th century. It's just, honestly, it took my breath away, and it just, I think, brought home to me the importance of not having too many preconceptions about where you're going. Stay open, because you never know.
Yeah. Who reads what you write, and how difficult has it been in the pandemic now? What are you telling folks now?
Yeah. So I contribute to Condé Nast Traveler, to Travel and Leisure Magazine, to islands.com, basically anyone who wants Caribbean content. So mostly consumer facing. And, it's been interesting because obviously I'm a champion of the Caribbean, but at the same time, I want to keep Caribbean, and at the same time, I want to keep Caribbean citizens safe. So as much as life needs the Caribbean and we want people to go to the Caribbean, at the beginning of this pandemic, I was quite vocal in saying, look, the Caribbean's going to be there when this is all over, but now is not the time to go, because I think that it's a bit much, particularly for Americans, for people who live here in a country where we really haven't handled the pandemic that well, but don't have a handle on it, to then go to other nations that are smaller and have fewer resources. I personally felt was irresponsible. But, luckily, because we've handled it so well, the Caribbean has opened since June. You've seen practically every nation open. I think St. Kitts and Nevis will be the last to open. Was the last to open. So now, Americans are traveling. I'm not sure that they're traveling responsibly, however. So I think that my journey now is to try and help people responsibly travel to the Caribbean with care for themselves, but also for the island citizens who are delivering them
So
the
what does that
vacation.
mean? What does that mean when you say you don't think they're traveling responsibly? Responsibly, they're not
I
wearing the
think in the
masks. They
beginning,
what?
yeah, I think in the beginning, in the early summer, we were seeing people, for example, going to Antigua, not wanting to be tested when they got there, not wanting to wear masks. We saw that in St. Lucia too. I mean, I'm hoping that that's. It doesn't seem that that is a trend, but obviously I think that there's a Venn diagram between the people who had to travel for pleasure early in this pandemic and the people who weren't so much into wearing masks and being responsible. I think there was a lot of overlap. I
Yep,
think it's a bit different now, hoping to help people make responsible
yep.
choices.
Let's push the pandemic away for a. Sorry, I wish I could push it away for good.
Right?
In a nutshell, what would you tell a traveler about Jamaica?
Jamaica is the entire package. All the islands are great, but the thing about Jamaica, it's the total package. It's got the food, it's got the music, it's got the topography, and most of all, it's got the people. If there's a Jamaican anywhere in the world, you will know it. We are loud and proud. There is a certain, I spent half my life in Jamaica, and there is a certain confidence that comes from being a Jamaican. I call it a confidence passport, and you take that with you wherever you go. And so I think you have to go to Jamaica because one way or the other, you can't help but be affected by the country and its people. We're unique.
Yeah. If I didn't make up my mind as where I would go for holiday, and I read things that you write about the Caribbean, would that sway me one way or the other, you think?
Well, I hope so, because if it didn't, then I'm not doing my job, right?
So,
I
so the things I mean, and I mean in a very serious way. So I've decided I don't know if I want to go Barbados, Jamaica, Trinidad and Tobago, and I read you would tell me exactly what each country would offer and why I should
I
go.
would.
Yeah.
I would, exactly. In fact, if you go to JetSetSarah.com and you sign up for my newsletter, I have a PDF that I'll send you immediately, and it's called 30 Things to Do in the Caribbean Before You Die. And it's not just Jamaica, it's St. Lucia, Antigua, Barbados. There are singular things about every nation that are attractive. I mean, there are 30 something Caribbean islands that people that have a tourism industry, and every one of them is worth your time.
Okay. Have you been to all of the Caribbean islands?
I'm missing Mustique. I haven't been to Mustique, and I went to Dominica once, but for a very short time, and it rained the entire time. So I'm putting Dominica back on my list. But most of them, yeah, I think maybe I'm missing about 3 or 4.
Where you go next?
Actually, I am heading to Grenada on Monday. This will be my first trip back out into the wild. So, as I told you, I want to show people how to travel responsibly and with care for themselves and Caribbean citizens. So, I can't necessarily do that from sitting here at my desk, and people are traveling. So,
Yeah.
I'm out there. I'm going to go to Grenada and be there for a week.
What's the protocol coming from Florida? Do you have to be tested before you go
Yes,
on, and do you
so
have to be
exactly.
tested
So
again?
fingers crossed. Yeah, fingers crossed that I actually get to Grenada, because Grenada requires that you have a negative PCR test result taken within 7 days of your trip. I travel on Monday. Now, coming here from Miami, we had terrible rain on Monday, so I couldn't go and get a test. Yesterday, I had to go to 3 places before I could get a test, and they're telling me that they hope I'll get my results by Friday. So, and I have to upload those results, to Grenada's website so that I can get the health visa to go. So we'll see. And then when you get to Grenada, they have a 4-day vacation in place requirement. So my first 4 days, I will not be leaving my hotel. I will be working remotely from the Caribbean, which isn't so bad, so don't feel sorry for me. But then on the 4th day, they come and they do another PCR test. And if you test negative, then you're allowed to go out into community, do socially distance activities, and experience the destination.
So that
So I'll
would
have
be,
4 days in a hotel, 3 days in the
and
destination.
that would be like 3 tests. One, we've done one already, and then you're going to have to do
Yeah.
another one, and then another one.
2.5, because I may or may not get tested when I actually arrive in
Okay.
Grenada. I think their authorities, if you look symptomatic, you may be tested. But if not, I definitely will be tested on day 4.
Well, I pray that everything works out, and I pray the next time you come to Jamaica, we'll
Yes,
be
gonna be
able to have
soon.
a face-to-face in our studio. Great to meet you. Great
I
to
would
see
love
you.
that.
You stay safe. God bless you and your family.
Thank you. Thanks, Neville.
You're welcome. Sarah Greaves Gabbidon, travel journalist. Jet Set Sarah. check her out. All right. Up